welcome back to my channel. I am officially done with Whole30. I can honestly say I have had quite an incredible experience this month, and I'm going to tell you all about it, from the physical to the mental to the financial, just kind of everything that I've gone through this month and the effect that it's had on me. And also, I don't know if anybody can notice, but I have a fancy new camera now. I am no longer shooting this channel on an iPhone 13. I am now the proud owner of a Canon M50. So that's super exciting and just one of the many good things, positive things that has happened to me this month. So let's dive into it. I can honestly say this has been such a great experience, and I kind of want to break it down for you now that I can really reflect back on it from start to finish. But first, I want to talk briefly about reintroduction. Okay, so if you read the Whole30 guidebook, which as always, it is linked below, but if you read that, they have like a very specific plan for reintroducing foods back into your diet. Kind of the whole point of Whole30 at the end is to slowly reintroduce foods into your diet so you can really tell what foods affect your body in what way. And if you've watched my videos at all, then you know that these 30 days I have been craving sweets. My stupid watch. So if you have watched any of my Whole30 videos, you know that the hardest part of this 30 days for me has been sweets. I have been craving sweets for 30 days straight. And I honestly think it got even worse in this last week. I think because mentally I knew I was so close to the finish line and I could like finally have that sweet, sweet taste of sugar again. And so this last week, the craving has just been like absolutely insane. On the night of the last day of Whole30, which was now, well, just a day ago, I went to Trader Joe's and I bought these chocolate covered almonds. I said, okay, this is a good way to get a little taste of something sweet, but not go overboard, because I wasn't dumb. I knew that if I went absolutely buck wild on day one, I was gonna be in for a world of hurt. So I went home and I ate probably like a handful of these chocolate almonds. Y'all, I was in absolute pain. It was terrible. Honestly, like my stomach hurt for hours, and that was just like a handful of almonds, and it was just chocolate covered. So that was like what, not that much dairy and not that much added sugar. So just like, whoa, take it from me. Follow the reintroduction plan. Now, I am not following the reintroduction plan to a T or really at all, because in February, so in a day, tomorrow, I'm gonna be starting Hard 75, which I'm gonna do a whole video on what Hard 75 is, but you get to do a diet of your choice during Hard 75, and I'm going to do Whole30. So really, I'm not quitting Whole30. So the whole reintroduction's like a week long, and I'm not really going to be doing reintroduction. So my whole plan was to just take this like day or two between the two programs and like just have a little bit of fun. So I know that I'm going to dinner tomorrow night, and I just thought I would eat a little bit of sweets and it would be fine, but it was terrible. It was awful. My stomach hurts so bad. So I'm a little scared for this first meal out at a restaurant. I think it might be not great, to say the least. But at the end of Hard 75, which is 75 days long, I'm going to take the reintroduction phase like super, super seriously, because honestly, it's like probably the most important part of Whole30, because what you do is you slowly reintroduce these foods that you've cut out, and you really take note and be super conscious of how it makes your body feel. And then you get to make like an educated decision on whether or not you want to allow those foods to be in your diet in the long run. And I want to take that super seriously, because just seeing how those 10 chocolate covered almonds affected my digestive system is pretty obvious that I am very sensitive to something that was in those. And so I want to take it super seriously, because if I can avoid feeling the way that I felt last night, if I can avoid feeling like that, then I want to. Sorry for all the noise outside. They're building a new apartment next to me, and it is so loud. So let me be like super clear with y'all. Follow the reintroduction phase. You will not regret it. You will not regret it. You will not regret it. Okay? Okay. Enough of that. Let's get on to the fun stuff. Let's talk about results. So obviously what everyone wants to know is the physical results. That's what most people are like, oh my gosh, how much weight did you lose? Oh my gosh, what do you look like? Let me see before and after photos. That's really the bread and butter of what people want to know after Whole30, right? So I'm going to be like very honest with you. I don't do scales. I don't do scales at all. I don't own one. I can't tell you the last time that I stepped on one. I have had eating issues and body image issues since I was about 16, and I just don't believe in stepping on a scale. I think that my health comes from how I feel when I look in the mirror and how my body feels to me, right? So how I feel like my body is functioning, and am I happy with the way that I look in the mirror? That is how I judge my body. Obviously, there are many people that do step on a scale before Whole30 and after Whole30, and they will have exact numbers for you. I am not that person, but I did take before and after photos, so we are going to take a look at those, all right? So as you can see, obviously my bloating is practically non-existent. It's actually wild because I have zero bloating. My stomach is so flat. And you can start to see where, like, if I were to really hone in on my working out, like my stomach could be really toned. Now, if you've watched my videos, you know that like working out was not my main focus during Whole30. My main focus was my mental space and my diet, right? So I didn't go super crazy with the working out, which is partially why I want to do Hard 75, because it is so much more of a focus on working out, and I do really good with like goal oriented. That's why I like these challenges. But anyways, I see a difference in my body. I really do. I think that the bloating is the main difference, and I used to wake up every single day so bloated. I mean, I spent every single day feeling like there was like a rock in my stomach, which was crazy. But then also look at the photos of my face, okay? Like, it's actually crazy because the first photo is literally from the first day of Whole30, and my face, my face was just so puffy. Like, underneath my eyes was so puffy. I feel like my skin was so dull. I just look absolutely exhausted, which is wild. Like, that girl, she just looks so tired. She looks so tired. But then if we look at me at the end of Whole30, my eyes, I have no bags underneath my eyes. The dark circles, like, almost gone. My skin just feels brighter. My cheeks are so thin. Like, I just have my whole facial structure back. It's actually crazy. I think that I see such a difference in my face, and I'm really happy about that. So yeah, I think that I have pretty noticeable physical results. Like I said, I don't have measurements for you. I don't have scale numbers for you, but I think that the photo is worth 1,000 words, because I think that you are able to see the difference that I feel. I feel just so tight. I feel so, my stomach just feels so good, and my stomach never used to feel good. My stomach used to hurt all the time. So, on a physical note, check, Whole30 was successful. Now on to the more important part. We're gonna talk about the mental change and transformation that I went through during Whole30, because if you remember my Whole30 overview video, this is the bread and butter of why I did Whole30. My priority was not weight loss. My priority was not a physical transformation. My priority was a change in my mental space. I wanted to feel better up here. I wanted to wake up and I just wanted to feel better. So, y'all, so loud outside today. Like, I haven't filmed in a while, and the day that I do decide to film, it's so loud. I cannot stress enough just how good this month has been for me. It's one of those things where when I was reading the Whole30 guidebook, I was like, okay, I get it. All of these testimonials are like, this changed my life. This month like really, really was eye-opening for me. Like it completely changed the way I view food. It completely changed my habits, It all seemed a little too good to be true. The first time that I read the guidebook, I was like, there's no way that this like changed people's lives. It's 30 days, it's eating good food. Like, how does that change your life? But I can honestly say that mentally, I got out of this exactly what I was looking for. So, and it's hard to like explain without feeling like I'm trying to sell you on something, but it's honestly been one of the most enjoyable experiences I've ever had. And I think there's just a lot of different factors that play into this beyond just the change in my diet. Number one, obviously I'm eating better food. Obviously this makes my body just feel better. I feel like my energy levels were like through the roof. I just feel like I had more focus. I had more like drive to get more things done during the day. And I think that had a lot to do with the food that I was eating. So obviously the food made a big difference, but then also too, I was sleeping so good. Like these 30 days, I have slept better than I have slept in like the last 3 years, okay? I have never been a good sleeper. I have a hard time going to sleep, and I also sometimes have a hard time staying asleep. A lot of times I would just wake up absolutely exhausted because I just don't feel like I got quality sleep. But this past 30 days, I really feel like I got really, really good sleep. And I think that that's super apparent just by like the way that my skin looks when I woke up. And as you can see, the puffiness underneath my eyes, the dark circles, they've all kind of reduced. Number 3, obviously I quit smoking nicotine, which y'all, this is something that I have been trying to do for so long and have failed at so many times, and I've talked about it briefly in my other videos, but I think that smoking nicotine had a lot more negative impacts on me than I even realized. I think that it was really, really screwing with my sleep. I think that it was really, really amplifying my anxiety and my depression. And I don't know that I ever thought that nicotine... It's interesting because nicotine is almost used in a way to suppress feelings of anxiety. Like when you feel like you're getting amped up, you're like, oh, I just need a hit. Like it'll just like calm me down, right? But I actually think that it was making it all worse, which is crazy. But I'll get to that in a second, like dealing with issues and stuff without all of my vices. But quitting nicotine was awesome. Number 4, okay, so obviously I haven't drank alcohol in 30 days, and I haven't not drank alcohol in 30 days since I started drinking 8 years ago, which is crazy. But I haven't quit drinking for that long. I've tried a couple times to do the whole dry January thing, and I have failed a couple times. So this is the first time I have like successfully been able to stop drinking for 30 days. And the beautiful part was I didn't feel a single hangover for 30 days. I didn't feel anxiety the night after or the morning after going out for 30 days. I didn't, stay up super late and then spend the whole next day eating crap food and laying on my couch for 5 or 6 hours because I felt like crap. None of that for 30 days, and it's honestly been incredible. I have really, really loved it. I haven't missed alcohol at all, which is really, really crazy because it was such a big part of my life, and it was really, really, really awesome to get to experience what it feels like to not have it be part of my life. I think above all else though, all of those things that I've mentioned are all like super tangible changes that I've made, and I think above all else, the biggest effect that this month has had on me is that I made a 30-day commitment to myself, and I kept that commitment. I made a promise to myself and I kept that promise to myself, and I think that that means more than I can even put into words. I really did show myself again that I can be successful at anything that I put my mind to. I know that that might sound dramatic to some of y'all, but if y'all understood the place that I was in before I did Whole30, and if you understood just like how down I was and how lacking of direction I was, and I just really felt super lost. I just felt like I was spinning my wheels and nothing was happening, and I just didn't know what the next step forward was supposed to be. And making this commitment to myself and keeping this to my commitment to myself has really jump-started my journey towards regaining my sense of self-control, my sense of self-discipline, my sense of self-confidence and self-respect, and just overall integrity. And obviously everything starts with you. Everything in your life begins with what's inside of you. And I think I had just lost touch with myself, and that was the biggest problem in my life coming into this year. And I know it sounds dramatic, I really do, but I think that doing this and keeping this commitment to myself and showing myself again what I'm capable of has really like reinvigorated that fire inside of me that like, I can do this. I have to fix this and it will radiate out into the rest of my life, right? Also, I dealt with some pretty heavy emotional things this month, and for the first time in those 8 years since I started drinking and really picked up any major vices, I had to deal with those emotional things with a completely clear headspace, and I haven't ever really done that. I've always put, you know, band-aids on top of things whenever I was dealing with emotional circumstances, whether it be smoking nicotine, whether it be emotionally binge eating food on my couch, or whether it be drinking a bottle of wine. Like, I have always covered up my wounds with band-aids, and it has never worked, and it has always made things 10 times worse. And this month was the first time that I had to deal with some really, really heavy emotional things in a completely clear headspace. And it was really hard. I'm not gonna lie, it was really, really hard because I really had to sit with myself and sit with my feelings and evaluate exactly what those feelings were and evaluate how do I make myself feel better? How do I make me feel better? And I don't know that I've ever really had to do that in my adult life. So it was really, really eye-opening and something that I want to continue to explore further. This 30 days has honestly just been a really, really freeing feeling. The number of times that I've told myself I wanted to quit my toxic cycles or quit my toxic behaviors, and the number of times that I have wanted to quit my toxic habits, and the number of times that I have failed at doing all three. It was just a really, really freeing feeling to finally break loose of those chains, of those behaviors and those habits, and get to experience life without them. And it's only been 30 days. Imagine what it would feel like for a long period of time, right? I felt in control of my life again, which is wild because it has only been 30 days, but I'm telling you, like, for the first time in probably a year and a half, I felt like I had a sense of control over my own life again because I was in complete control of myself, which is the whole point of all of this. By no means is this like the end of my like self-development journey. It truly was just the beginning. And honestly, I think that this month has just really uncovered and shed light on even more kind of holes that I have in my armor that I need to fix and that I need to address, and giving me this clear headspace, allowing myself, granting the gift to myself of this clear headspace has really, really opened my eyes to a lot of things and just shown me kind of maybe a different way of living life and a different way of experiencing life and a different lens through which I want to view life. And so this is like just the beginning. I have like not even scratched the surface of self-development. Okay, so last but not least, I really want to talk about the cost of Whole30 because I think that this is something that needs to be addressed. I know a lot of people think that eating healthy and whatnot is just so expensive and you're going to end up spending so much more money, and I can't afford afford it and da 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 da. So doing Whole30 makes it really, really impossible to eat out at restaurants or like, you know, drink at bars or anything like that. So I thought that I would end up, you know, saving a lot of money because I wasn't eating out at restaurants and I wasn't drinking at bars. But in reality, you know, not eating out, not ordering food, I had to make up for that food one way or the other, and I ended up just buying a lot more groceries than I normally would. So it really kind of offset each other, which I think a lot of this had to do with the fact that this was my first Whole30. So the first week I had to do a lot of stocking up of my fridge and pantry of like Whole30 staples, and that can really, you know, drive that price up. And also, if y'all remember week 2, y'all, I went absolutely crazy at the grocery store. There was absolutely zero need for me to spend that amount of money at the grocery store. It was actually insane, and it makes me really, really upset now that I look back at the amount of money that I spent that week compared to all of the other weeks. So learn from me. Don't do what I did in week 2. Don't get crazy with your recipes. Don't buy things that you don't already have just because you want to make something super crazy. Like, be mindful. Be mindful of what you are buying and how often you're going to use it, and just be mindful of your budget when you're doing Whole30, okay? I lost sight of my budget that week and it really kind of screwed me up. So here is a breakdown of my costs during the 4 weeks, all right? So as you can see, in week 1, I spent $127.08 at the grocery store. At week 2, here we are. Week 2, I spent $253.94 at the grocery store. Week 3, $45.20. Week 4, $139.33, for a total of $565.55 at the grocery store during Whole30. That was 90 meals worth of food, and that puts my price per meal at $6.28, which is not bad at all. Now, next up, we have kind of the comparison of December and January, my cost. So this is where you can see the difference in, so obviously what I spend in groceries, and then food and dining is restaurants and bars and coffee shops and things like that. So in December, I spent $1,008 between those two categories, and in January, I spent $908. So I literally saved $100. Which, $100 is not a lot, but you know what? It's $100. And I think that's really good for my very first time doing Whole30 and really not knowing what this was all about and just starting to dabble into the world of couponing. If you watched my, you know, week 3 and week 4 videos, you'll see that I had just started to dabble into the world of couponing. And I think that if I really dived into that and learned more about that, which I want to, then I could really, really increase my savings in that department. Overall, Whole30 has been an absolutely incredible experience, and I would highly, highly, highly recommend it for anyone looking to like jumpstart their health and wellness journey or just give themselves a really good mental challenge to stick to. It's one of those things, like, you get what you give, right? So I was like super, super dedicated to this process, and it honestly made this 30 days really, really fun. At no point did I feel like the 30 days was like dragging on, or it was just like the hardest thing I've ever done, or like, oh my God, is this ever going to be over? All I want is this and that and the other. Like, I never felt like that, and I think it's because I allowed this experience to be exactly what it was supposed to be. I allowed it to be transformative. I allowed it to really sink into me on a deep level, and that's, I think, what it's supposed to do. And I think that that makes it a lot easier. So if you are going to do Whole30, I really suggest sitting down with yourself and having a like one-on-one conversation with yourself and saying like, this is honestly what I want to do. I really want to take these 30 days and I want to allow this to be as big of an experience for me as it is meant to be. Okay, so if you go into it with that mindset and you go into it with, I want to have fun and I want to tell people about this and I want to share my experience, and don't be annoying, but I want to make this as enjoyable as an experience as possible. If you go into it with that mindset, I really, really believe that this is a program that is bigger than just changing your diet. I do believe I am a believer in the testimonials that are in the guidebook that say that this is a transformative, potentially life-changing experience for people, and I highly, highly, highly recommend committing to this or something like this for 30 days. Give yourself 30 days. You deserve 30 days. I deserved 30 days. I now deserve another 75 days. Thank you so much, guys, for following me on this Whole30 journey. It has been such a good month, and it's not even scratched the surface of my health and wellness journey, as I mentioned. So I hope that all of you stay tuned for what is next for me. I am going to talk about my relationship with alcohol. I'm going to talk about my 2023 goals for myself. I'm gonna start deep diving into some personal development with y'all. I really want to take you on the journey with me. I don't just want to show you the finished product. So thank you guys so much. And as always, if you found this video helpful or informative, please go ahead and give it a like and subscribe to my channel. I hope to see you back next week.